What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Talking Blue. I'm Matthew Mooney alongside Luke Langella. This is our New York Football Giants 2023-2024 regular season preview. So the Giants are coming off a season where they had very low expectations because 2021-22 they had an abysmal train wreck of a season, went 4-13. Joe Judge was an absolute awful head coach, and Dave Gettleman finally got fired. And after week 17 versus the Bears, it was a 29-3 loss by the Giants. And Joe Judge was ranting after the game, talking about how much of a clown show the Washington Redskins organization is and how the Giants organization isn't. And then the next week, they beat the crap out of us 20-9. And that prevented any free agent wanting to come to New York. And now the new regime, Brian Dable and Joe Shane, has really taken a new step. We snuck into the playoffs as the sixth seed, beat the Minnesota Vikings, the 3 seed, and then got knocked out of the divisional round. So, what are your expectations going to the season, Luke?
Yeah, I think you hit everything perfectly. My expectations are we should have a better year. It's just simple. We had a great year with a bad team last year. Not a bad team, but not a great year. This year, so much more speed, better defensive weapons. There's so many more weapons. So you look at it from that way. They should have a deep playoff run. You never know how it works in the NFL. You never know how teams are going to come out. So I remember after the 2016 season, you'd say the Giants after that season should have put together a great run again, and then obviously they didn't. So you never know, but I'm expecting another at least 9 wins. I would say, judging off last year. And then, yeah, the rebuild has been it's been a very good rebuild. They were able to Joe Judge's regime just didn't work, and then you entered Brian Dable, Joe Shane, and within a few months they had the team in the playoffs. So I think that's incredible, and you expect another incredible year this year.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. This should be a very fun season. I would say right now they have a tough schedule, but I think they'll find their way through it and become a top dog in the NFC. What do you think about that, Luke?
Yeah, I think the Giants have always found a way to win, and I think like this is a great opportunity because this season you're not going to be playing against bad teams. You're going to be playing against all good teams, and that's what really want to see. It's we talked about it all off season. Can the Giants close the gap? We were talking mainly about Philly, but can we close the gap against a team like Buffalo? That's what's interesting. Can the Giants close the gap against some of the best teams in the NFL, the 49ers? This is a test for the Giants this season. Yeah, you could have a bad year and miss the playoffs, but if you show something, that's big because the Giants aren't just trying to build a Super Bowl win; they're trying to build a dynasty, and you could tell. The Giants aren't going to be a one and done team, not a fluke of the playoff run. They want to build a dynasty. So this year is a perfect test for them. Can this team get it done with a tough schedule?
Yeah, 100% agree with you. So I have this written down. I think the Giants' ceiling is 12-5. The floor is 8-9. Assuming everything goes possibly wrong, let's say Daniel Jones get injured for the season. So to Saquon Barkley, Darren Waller, the entire roster, then we win 8 games. But I don't know. I think we're gonna definitely improve a lot from last year. It's gonna be a more high scoring offense. I think the defense is gonna take a big step up. What are your thoughts on that, Luke?
Yeah, I think offensively, we really didn't see that offense pop out until week 17, and then the big game against Minnesota. And I think like up to that point, I was not impressed with the offense at all. Brian Dable did a good job putting the team in situations to win, but it wasn't good enough. You know what I mean? And I think you look at it, this year. This offense is just so fast, Matthew. They have so much speed, so many talented players. This offense definitely could put up 30 points a game. That's what you need. On the defensive side of the ball, last year the Giants were sitting back. They were letting teams run all over them, throw all over them. They just didn't want to give up a touchdown. They did a good job at it. They gave up lots of field goals. They kept the offense from getting big points, knowing that their offense couldn't keep up with it. I like the style they played because they had to. But this year, they had to be domination. You can't let an offense drive all over you. That's not fun. You got to step up and make some plays this year, and that's what I'm excited to see. For the Giants, can this defense make plays, or are they gonna have to sit back again and just be run all over?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the defense is going to keep taking a step up and possibly top 5 in the league. I know I said that earlier in the season, but off season when we were doing episodes, but like the defense has really gotten taking a step up. Since we had Wink Martindale as our defensive coordinator, we've done a lot. Not just him, like we added a lot of great defensive pieces. And before Joe Shane came in, we had a lot of good defensive pieces. And now the defense is just loaded. The front seven could destroy you at any moment. Our pass rush is lethal. Kayvon Thibodeau, Azeez Ojulari, Dexter Lawrence, Leonard Williams, Ashawn Robinson, Bobby Okereke.
Yeah, you're right. If you read any of the things that ESPN saying it, the front seven the Giants have is the best in the league. You can read. There's a ton of articles. CBS, ESPN, they did it. They ranked the Giants number one. That's not really the problem I have. I think our front seven's going to be so much better, so much more depth at that position, and we'll get later into more guys they added for depth. But I think the biggest issue that we all think is, can this secondary step up? The Giants, historically, the last few years, have been a horrible secondary. It's just been atrocious. Last year it looked better. It didn't look great. And I think this year, obviously, we had 2 rookie corners. We had another safety. You know, this could be a better secondary. And that's what we're going to have to see, because if this secondary can step up, get interceptions, make big tackles, then, yeah, I think this defense is the best in the league. But if the secondary doesn't come through, I think that definitely, yeah, you're looking at, you know, it won't be as good, because teams are just going to be able to, if they're going to be able to throw deep on us, that could be a problem. But I really think you're right. That front seven is the best in the NFL.
Yeah, I agree with you. So I know we're talking about closing the gaps on teams. Would you say we've closed the gap on Philadelphia? I know we've talked about this before on previous episodes, but what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think we closed it a little bit, but I don't think we closed the gap completely. I think Philadelphia now, you know, Jalen Hurts took over, and they had a kind of success a year before Danny Dimes did. So in my opinion, I think Philadelphia is a little bit ahead the Giants in success. So I think the Giants are playing a little bit of catch up to keep up with them, but eventually, just like anything, Philadelphia will crash. You know, that's just how football is. You go on a really good stretch, and then, you know, eventually it ends. You know, the Patriots had a very long dynasty, while you look at the Buccaneers with Tom Brady, a very short dynasty. So I think that's the way, you know, that's the way football is. So I think the team like the Philadelphia Eagles is going to be good for a while, and I think we're going to be good for a while. And I think that gap isn't closed yet, because I think we added good players, but a lot of these players that we added they still have to prove. You know, we talk about our secondary. I would consider Isaiah Simmons part of the secondary. He has a lot to prove. We talked about our corners. Deontay Banks and Trey Hawkins have a lot to prove. You know, there's a lot of guys on this roster that have to prove stuff. So I think that's the gap. If the Giants, if everyone proves something, yeah, we could be better. We could beat Philly. You know, if everyone plays great, but you know, it doesn't usually work out that way. But for me, that's what it has to see. Can these guys show up? And then, yeah, I would say we close the gap. If they show up, then those moves worked.
Yeah, I agree with you. Something I want to talk about Philadelphia. I'm not putting them down or anything. However, they really didn't face any competition last year. They just beat up on bad teams most of the time, and a couple times they struggled to beat a few bad teams. Like week 1, the Lions. I know the Eagles have like one of the best defenses in the NFL. It did not play well at all. I know Bradbury had a pick 6, but the Lions defense was all over them.
Yeah, and I think you bring up another fair point. This year, the Eagles and the Giants have they're 1 and 2 for toughest schedules in the NFL. This came out a while ago in the beginning of summer, so that's interesting to me. Like you're just saying, is now the Eagles have good competition, the Giants have good competition. So let's see who's the top dog. Who's going to be the top dog in the NFC East? And you know, I'd say the Giants split with Philly. I'd say that's a huge success, and yeah, you could say you closed the gap at the end of the year. I'd say that'd be a huge success if you could split with Philly.
Yeah, I agree.
With Dallas, you split with Philly and you sweep Washington. You could be one of the best teams in the NFC. Just doing that.
Yeah, I think I 100% agree with you. I think we're splitting with Philadelphia, splitting with Dallas, and sweeping Washington. You know, we just talked about this, but honestly, the only 2 teams that I think could win the NFC East this season would be either the Giants or the Eagles. I know that might sound biased. I think we do have a shot, but I think it could go either way. It depends on like the last game of the season who wins. I think the Giants win the last game of the season though in MetLife.
Yeah. And you look at Washington, new quarterbacks. You really don't know how they'll look. And then you look at Dallas. They always they always play strong in the regular season, but I don't see them doing anything in the playoffs if they make it. They've been pretty unimpressive in the playoffs. Obviously, they made it to the divisional round against. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking you got Dallas, you got Philly, you got Washington. You never know. But yeah, I think the Giants could win the division, but I think it'd be very tough. I think I would say I'd value them higher than Dallas, though. I just think they play better than Dallas did last year. I know Dallas got the best of them 2 times, but I think Dallas got the best of them when the Giants weren't in their stride, and when the Giants were in their stride, I think they could beat Dallas. And I want to talk about a player, Boogie Basham, obviously traded to the Giants, and we released O'Shane Ximendez, kind of like a trade-off there. And Boogie Basham, a lot of upside there, and athletic guy. We need a depth at outside linebacker. I think we've been talking about it all year. We talked about Isaiah Simmons. We need a depth at middle linebacker. Joe Shane came through. He's got his depth. I mean, he got his 2 talented players. Isaiah Simmons, obviously, one of the most versatile players in the NFL, and then Boogie Basham, he's great athletic with a ton of upside. So you could see what he could do in a Wink Martindale system. You never know what Wink could do.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm very excited about Boogie Basham. I know a lot of what we talk about every episode, well, most episodes we're talking about potential additions to the Giants. One of them is we just talk about the depth at edge and how bad it is. And now they added Boogie Basham. I never heard of the guy before the Giants traded for him, but I've heard he's really good, and I'm big on his film. So hopefully he can really help out the depth at edge. So now it's not just Kayvon Thibodeau and Azeez Ojulari. So the second string edges are Jihad Ward and Boogie Basham, which I think is pretty good. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think that's great, and I think Jihad Ward week 8 is going to be all over Aaron Rodgers. I guess we had to talk about this, Matthew.
Yes.
Twitter say Aaron Rodgers saying, "I don't know who you are." Well, I think you do know who you are, because Jihad Ward that game in Green Bay had a huge tackle for loss. I don't know if you remember when he first hit the celebration, his little helmet celebration. It was a great celebration. He had a great game, and the Giants beat Green Bay. O'Shane Ximendez with a strip sack. And, Jihad Ward was on the field for a lot of that game. And I think Aaron Rodgers knows who he is, because the Giants beat him last year. And I think that's going to happen week 8 as well.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the Giants will beat the Jets this season, week 8. During that stretch, I think they're going to beat and win all weeks 7, 8, and 9 straight. What do you think about that?
Yeah, we talk about it all the time. The NFL is crazy. You really never know how a team's going to show up. We predict everything at the beginning of the year, looking at what players could be, but you can't judge a rookie. You can't judge a second-year player. You just don't know how they're going to show up. And then you don't even know how a veteran's going to show up. You never know. Aaron Rodgers could win a Super Bowl with the Jets, or he could have a 4-win season. That's the thing. You don't know. But I think, the Giants have always played well against A-Rod, but I just don't see the Jets flipping and winning the Super Bowl after not even having a winning record. And I think Jihad Ward, he's a crazy guy. We obviously all know flipping off in Philly after Kenny Galladay's touchdown. He's a character on and off the field, but I love him personally, and I think he's gonna deck Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I agree with you. Speaking of the Jets, I want to quickly talk about Aaron Rodgers calling MetLife Stadium Jet Life. This is kind of like an annoying little brother moment. It's not Jet Life Stadium. You guys have never, any Jets fan watching this, shut up. You've never hosted a playoff game at MetLife. The Giants have. We've been better than you. You guys haven't been in the playoffs since 2010, I think it was. And
yeah, they also rent the stadium from the Giants. They don't own it, so it's just another thing to say. But I think that it's definitely. I still call it. A lot of people still call it Giant Stadium, on the same lot as Giant Stadium, owned by the Giants. So Giants facility is on there. The Jets facility is about 20 minutes away. So it is definitely still Giant Stadium. I think we all know.
Yeah.
The Jets can call it whatever they want, but their fan base is pretty much all Bills fans now.
Yeah, I'm sure you get like that with like the little brother moments with the Rangers and like the Islanders and Devils. I definitely get like that with the Yankees and Mets all the time, being a Yankees fan.
Yeah. I as a Mets fan, I know we're the little brother, but I don't hate saying Pete Alonso is the king of New York. I don't hate saying it. I love to say it. 41st home run tonight, 100 RBIs, another great year for him. And I think that's really it, Matthew. We're really excited. Sunday Night Football on NBC. Watch the Giants take off against Dallas. It's going to be a great one, I can tell you that much. And I hope we come out on the winning side of it.
Yes, a few more things. But yeah, in baseball, I do think Aaron Judge is still the king of New York. Okay, that might sound biased, but quickly to close things out, I want to quickly ask you, what do you think winning a division for the Giants would mean for this
I,
organization?
I think it would mean the starting of a dynasty. 2 years of making the playoffs, and if you obviously a deep run, if that means a deep run, I think 2 years of making playoffs, and I think that's the beginning of a dynasty. And then I think next year, then we seriously get talking about NFC Championship, Super Bowl contenders. So I think that's what that means.
Yeah, I agree with you. This is definitely the
Look,
start to something special. I love Joe
you look at
Shane.
it this way.
Yeah,
Think about how fast Philly turned it around. I think the Giants can turn it around that fast. That's all I gotta say.
I agree with you. I will say it right now. My hot take for the episode: the Giants will go. This is a very, very bold prediction. A lot of people are probably going to rip on me for this if this doesn't happen. If this doesn't happen, you could probably clown me all you want, but the Giants will go 12-5 and win the NFC East. I'm saying it right now.
Hey, I wish I had the same confidence in them. I don't know. Hey, we'll have to see, and that'll start Sunday night, MetLife Stadium. Dallas comes here for some primetime football. I can't talk about it enough. I'm talking about it all year. It's all summer. We've been talking about it all summer. It's going to be a great game, and I think the Giants too much rebuilding, too much preparing for this season, and I think they're going to come out. They're going to come out strong, and I think they're going to take it to Dallas.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of pressure on the Giants. I'm definitely going to be there. Are you going to be there as well? I forget.
I will be there too. I've seen a lot of Dallas Giants games before. In the last 16 meetings, the Giants have only beat them once. But I'm going to say we're going to be 2-17 against Dallas Monday morning. I could say that. That's the take I'm going with.
I agree with you. I think the Giants are going to win Week 1 versus the Cowboys. So yeah, that was really it for the episode. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe, share this video with a few friends. We have a lot of great content planned to come out this season. I hope you guys are gonna love it. But yeah, that was it. Like, comment, subscribe, share this video with a few friends, whatever you're watching, and share this with people. And yeah, we'll see you guys later. Let's go Giants.